to another edition of Brandon Replay. My name is Greg Norman, your host. This is week 3 of the 2021 fall season for Brandon Blackhawks Athletics, and we get a chance to cover an awful lot of ground. We had a chance to talk to Brad Zuby, the head football coach here at Brandon High School. We also checked in with Tony Higdon, the JV football coach, as well as Taylor Lepick, who is the volleyball coach. We talked to Brad a little bit about going on the road at Lake Fenton. Big victory, a 48-40 win over a very gamey Blue Devils squad for the team's first Metro League win. Unfortunate discussion with Brad was that they lost their 3-year starting quarterback, Micah Miller, to I think a fractured elbow, kind of a freak accident while he was throwing. Brad will explain a little bit about what that's all about. And we're going to kind of look towards what goes on with the Blackhawk football team over the next couple of weeks. We're at home this week against Clio and on the road next week against Owasso. So getting to 5-0 is a relatively easy path. After that, though, the road gets mighty difficult. And with no longer a 16-team winning qualifier for the MHSAA, if you get to 6 wins, you probably are going to be in the postseason playoffs. But let's make sure that we get a chance to stay with Brad throughout the season to cover those things. Lots going on in Blackhawk Nation. We'll get to that right now with our time with Brad, and stay tuned for the rest of the show.
Welcome back to week 3 of football. We're talking with Brad Zuby, the head football coach at Brandon High School at the end of week 3. 3-0, 48-40 win over Lake Fenton. A real game that, I don't know, it was enjoyable watching. And just talk a little bit about the game.
Yeah, I think we talked going into the game that, we're kind of the hunted ones in this league right now. And the guys in our division, they want a piece of us, and Lake Fenton, to their credit, they had their kids ready. And, offensively, they had a great game plan and, not very much different than what they've done in the past, but they were just executing at a much higher level, and their kids, gave everything they had. And, our kids fought like heck to hang on, and our quarterback went down. And when you lose a kid like Micah Miller, who's been the undisputed leader of this offense for 3 years, that kind of shakes you a little bit. But, to our kids' credit, they didn't crumble, and they stuck with it. And, we slipped Dylan Dickens in there at quarterback and to run the Wildcat. And he had done that last year for us out at Corunna to give us a win to hang on in a similar type of game. But I'd never seen a kid put 350 yards on the board rushing before like that, and 429 yards of total offense he was, contributed for. So it was a heck of an effort by the team just to hang on and rally around each other and rally around Micah.
Now let's talk about your quarterback, because he broke an elbow. Am I correct?
Yeah, surgery's coming up later this week. And, you've coached a long time. This is the absolute worst part of this job is to lose a kid who means so much to the team. But, just such a great kid, too, who's in his senior year of playing football, and he's a 3-year starter and a 4-year varsity kid. And just, he's a 4.0 student. He's a great citizen of Ortonville. He's just a great person all around. His teachers all love him. He's got a lot of friends that care about him, and he's we lost 2 captains last year to injuries, season enders, and then this year we lost Micah, so we're a little snake bit lately. But to the boys' credit, they rallied around Micah and they got that win. But he will be sorely missed, not just because of his on the field play, but because what a good kid he is.
Explain how he broke his elbow.
He just took a funky hit on a pass rush, and he was scrambling, trying to keep a play alive like he does for us so many times. And as he was releasing the ball, he took a crown of a helmet on the elbow, and that was enough to bust it up for him.
Okay. Now, First 2 weeks, you're a bit pass heavy, and I say that the fact you had a pretty balanced offense. This week, you go back to 350 if you use the numbers right, 350 out of 420. The air game has to be a part of your offense. Does that get you in a bad place with this?
No, and those were just Dylan's numbers, the 350 and the 420. I think we were 554 on offense for the night.
Okay.
But no, I mean, we have some things in the cooker that we're working on, and Dylan can throw it a little bit, and we've got some guys who can throw it a little bit. The freshman quarterback came in right before the half And he, we went back to our normal package, and he threw a 25-yard touchdown pass to end the first half to give us a 28-21 lead. So he's going to be more poised and ready to go, and Dylan will be ready to go with what we do with him, and we'll continue to march on.
Defensively, it's not that you didn't play good defense, not that you played bad defense. It's just they had a pretty good offensive scheme that did, a lot faster than I anticipated they were going to be.
Yeah, it's hard to tell too, a little bit on film with how they played the first couple of weeks to how they're going to play us. And I was nervous about them though, just because I know how hungry they are. I know how much they wanted us, and they have very good skill kids, and they do a great job running that counter tray. They were quick with their passing game as far as getting the ball off before we got there, because they know we're a pressure team, and we know each other pretty well. They had a heck of a game plan, and we were lucky to get a couple of stops here and there. We were fortunate to get that lead to 35-21 early in the third quarter, and that kind of helped keep them at bay. And but they were right up there until the closing seconds.
Any worry on looking at you playing against Lake Fenton and figuring out that maybe there's some things defensively you've got to fix that maybe an opponent may take advantage of?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we've got a lot of stuff to clean up here over the stretch run here. So, it's just, we like our guys that we have. It's just a matter of schematically getting them in the right place, and maybe playing with some guys position wise to move around, and just, making sure we're a little bit more sound what we're doing on some of our fits. But we like the guys. We just got to do a better job on me and my staff to get them in a place.
You seem to overrun a lot of guys. Was that their speed or overreacting to maybe what looked like a misdirection?
No, I don't know if it was so much of, overrunning, or just, I think we were just kind of missing it's one of those things where, you practice it during the week and the fit is there against your scout team, and then you get out of there against your opponent, and your opponent's running their offense at full speed with very good players, and your fits don't fit like they did on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
There's a play late in the, I believe, first quarter, early part of the second quarter, when your backs was taken down, never went to the ground, rolled over the top of a player. Referee never blew the whistle. He got up and ran for a touchdown. And the reason I'm bringing up the point, if you ever told a kid to play to the whistle, you'd have to see this play. And I'm not sure, end of the first quarter, does that sound right?
Yeah, I think it was early part of the second quarter, because we were going early part of the second quarter.
What was the back's name? Who was the back?
It was Dickens, the same kid who came in at quarterback in the second half. Yeah.
I just, if you get a chance to watch it, it's, put it up on a big screen. It was fun to watch, because the kid never quit.
Yeah. Yeah. They did like one of those gator roll tackles. He came over the top, and he was on his feet, instantaneously, and you never heard a whistle and kept on running. And, the referees never blew the play dead, and he made a heck of a play for us. He's a heck of a player.
Last question on the game itself. Were you surprised when it was 41-40, they went to kick the extra point and didn't go for two?
Yeah, honestly, the second time around too, they had missed two kicks, and we were comfortable going for two to try to push it. And then we kicked it the next time, at the end there to get it to 48-40. So then the best they could do was tie it. They scored at the end, but a little bit surprised, but at that point in the game, I think they felt comfortable with where they were at to try to tie it up and keep going, and then the kid missed the kick. So
we don't want to criticize high school kid, but that wasn't the miss. That was a shank.
Yeah, we were, we had pretty good pressure on that one. We were pretty close to blocking that one. I think we were right on top of it, and I think he might have had to short it a little bit, because we were right there. So, Can never blame the kid for that. Those things happen.
All right, on the road, you're back home this week.
Yeah, back home.
Clio,
yeah.
Okay, so that's not necessarily you still got to play the game, but Clio has not traditionally been a real strong team in the league.
Yeah, they've had their struggles lately, but we can't look at what another team is doing on how we prepare. When we had a year, I try to warn the kids today. We had a year against Clio. Maybe it was my second year here, where the kids were they're not very good, and they came out and they took them lightly, and they jumped on us, and all of a sudden it was in the first quarter, and we were down 28-0 to Clio, and the kids kind of like realized what was going on and took a deep breath, and we ended up winning the game 62-34 or something like that. It was kind of a wild to have a 62-7 run, whatever it was. But, you know, we have those pitfalls in place now to kind of warn against some of that stuff and make sure the kids are, you know, understand that we got to take everything serious. And, you know, with the injuries that we have and what we're dealing with right now with Micah and guys having to step up, we don't have time to worry about who we're playing as much as we do about what we're doing and getting ourselves in the, you know, you give up 40 points and you lose your quarterback. There's enough to fix on our end that, you know, it doesn't matter who we're playing. And, you know, Clio's, you know, they're a young team. They got a brand new coach and, you know, he's doing his best over there to get those guys on track and buying into his system. And, you know, looking at them on film, they're doing some things well. They got, you know, they played a pretty good defensive game. The score doesn't look like it against Goodrich, but they actually were pretty sound in a lot of their defensive fits against Goodrich. They just had some turnovers and interception returns and kick returns. So, you know, I think they're going to come at us again, trying to give us their best week.
If that's a new coach, by my count, that's got to be 3 or 4 coaches in the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, I know it's the third one since I've been here, and the guy who was there when my first year, he had just replaced the guy. So I think this would be like four coaches in 6 years for them. Yeah,
that's
a lot. That's tough. That's tough.
You can't build a program that way.
No, it's tough. So hopefully he gets some footing under him and can build something over there.
Before I ask you specifically about the Clio team, you're hosting both the JV game on Thursday and the varsity game on Friday. Is there a problem with Clouds Field?
It's not done yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they put a new field in, and the turf has not been laid all the way yet.
Okay, so they're putting in. I think is that one of the last schools to have turf?
Holly doesn't have turf,
right?
And Owasso doesn't have turf.
Okay.
And Corunna.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's sort of almost getting to the point where grass is the exception rather than turf.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun to play on it, you know, because we never see it anymore. So,
do you practice on grass during the week if you've got a game on grass?
We will from time to time if we feel like the field is that different, if it's going to give us that much of a different effect, and we'll go over and practice at our middle school from time to time. But you know, if we feel like it's that important, we will.
Okay, so Clio is 0-2?
0-3, yeah.
0-3.
Yeah.
They've gotten beat a couple times pretty bad.
Yeah. Goodrich got him pretty good, and yeah, I guess all 3 of their games have been pretty one-sided. But you know, they're doing some good things in there, and then they'll shoot themselves in the foot and take a step back.
Without looking too far ahead, who is after Clio? Who do you have next?
Owasso, they're struggling as well,
okay.
But you know, they won their opener and they've dropped their last couple. So
it's fair to say to get to 5-0 is going to be you got to do the work, but you got to get to 6 to make the playoffs, right?
Well, the new rule, there's no more automatic qualifying at 6 anymore. It's now all off points. It's all off a point-based system now, but it looks like 99% of teams that get to 6 wins would get in.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah. But you know, we expect to win every game, so we're gonna get to 4-0 before we get to 5-0.
When you lose your quarterback, though, to have, and again, 2 teams that are not a Fenton, certainly not a Lake Fenton, it gives you at least a couple of weeks to get your feet on the ground as you move towards the end of the season, give those kids some experience. Because if you got a freshman quarterback, mileage is about 90% of what the kids got to get.
Right. Yeah, no doubt about it. So, you know, it's obviously, you know, again, it wouldn't matter. We're in this situation that we're in, so it doesn't matter who we're playing. So, you know, we've got to prep that kid. We've got to prep that kid to get after it right now anyways. It doesn't matter if Clio's 0-3 or 3-0. We got to get all the kids prepped up and ready and working together. So it's, you know, it's the quarterback is one thing, but you know, it's also all the guys around him, because Micah's been running the show here for us for so long that it's rhythm with the other kids too that's so important. So we just got to get everybody repped up over here as many reps as we can get.
All right. Well, good. Well, listen, congratulations on being 3-0. Again, I typically don't watch a lot of film. We try to edit the program and get it on, but I actually found myself watching some of the later part of the games and talk to your offensive guys, because I thought they did a real nice job of taking advantage of what Lake Fenton was doing defensively.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Kyle Schultz does an awesome job coordinating our offense, and Matt Lentz, our offensive line coach, we just got into the offensive line and said, hey, we're going to have to run this thing to win this thing. And, you know, we got up on a chalkboard and made sure everybody knew exactly what we were going to do and how we were going to attack them, and added a few wrinkles at halftime there and built that up a little bit. And The offensive line did an outstanding job, and Dylan Dickens goes 40, like I said, 40 carries for 350 is it's quite a night's work. I haven't seen a night like that before.
Best of luck this week, and we'll have a conversation with you next week.
All right, man. Thank you.
Mental health disorders are serious and treatable conditions. Isolation, loneliness, and changes in behavior could be signs that someone you know is suffering from depression. Learn how to recognize when family or friends are in crisis and what you can do to help. Mental health does matter. Contact the Resource and Crisis Helpline with your concerns at 1-800-231-1127.
Talking today with Coach Anthony Hayden of the Brandon JV football team. Coach, so the season is finally underway. You're a couple games deep now. The kids are back in school. Can you reflect on anything that's been hard or positive about coming back to normalcy for the kids?
Well, nothing really hard about coming back. We got some young kids on our team that are, we're still working with to make them better, get better technique, that sort of thing. As far as the mask thing goes, it was really it was probably easier for them actually than it.
So are there any outstanding performances from your athletes? Anybody you really look to deliver on the field?
Well, we have Danny Provoto. He's our quarterback, and he's done a great job for us. He also plays linebacker. We also have Tyler Bowman, who's been anchoring at tackle on our offensive line. Nate McChesney, he's also a leader of our team, and he plays the offensive line also.
And these are all sophomore, freshman kids?
All of those guys, well, two of those guys are freshmen and one is a sophomore.
All right, so some talent coming up to the varsity team.
Yep.
Is there something about the sport that the average fan might miss when they're watching it or doesn't completely understand?
Well, if you just know the rules of football, it's not hard to follow. Sometimes, they may place the ball somewhere and it doesn't look like that's where it should be, or, the clock may stop when they don't expect it to, and stuff, just general things like that.
Right. What do you like to remind your athletes about in a day and age where the pandemic is still going on?
Well, I just remind them to make sure they're still following the rules, make sure that they're eating correctly, and make sure that they're taking precautions to, stay away from anyone they know that may have COVID. That's really all we can do for, not just my players, but for anybody.
All right, Coach. Well, this is Anthony Higdon, coach of the JV Brandon football team. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm here with Elle Ayers. She's on the varsity volleyball team. What position do you play?
I'm a middle.
How long have you been playing?
I've been playing since 3rd grade.
Really?
Yeah.
You actually made the team your freshman year.
Yep, I
That's
did.
really impressive. Not a lot of people are able to do that.
Thank you.
So, did you play travel or anything to get really good?
I've been playing travel in the winter and spring since 7th grade, and I still do that now.
Wow. What team do you play for?
I played for Performance Point when I lived in Indiana, and then I played for Supernova the last 2 years, and I'm playing for Unified this year. So kind of all over.
Wow. And so you said in Indiana. Are you originally from Indiana?
I've lived everywhere, all over.
Wow. That's so great. So you did phenomenal at your last game. Is there anything you're looking to improve on this game?
I want to win. That's my goal.
Well, you guys had a great win last game.
Yeah, I want to keep it up.
Is there anything you guys have been working on in practice to make yourselves even better?
A lot of defense and serve receive. Definitely that's our weakness, but I'm thinking this game will be better.
All right. Well, good luck tonight.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Well, we're here with the varsity volleyball coach, Taylor Lepick. How are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. So your season's about halfway through. This year, things are starting to get back to normal, not as crazy with COVID. How has that affected your team?
A lot better during the summer because we weren't out on the football field. That was hard last year because the nets weren't regulation, and then you have the factors of the sun and wind. So I think having more court time and availability to use the weight room in that has really helped us. However, we've been playing up quite a bit in tournaments, playing a lot of D1 schools, so our record's really not showing it, but I'm looking forward to starting league play to start pulling out some wins.
All right. Well, that's so exciting. Are there any talks that you've been having with your team and your players that are different than they usually would be because of COVID?
Not so much this season. I think last season was the major change in the discussions we've had, a little bit with the masks, and some schools don't have to wear them, some schools do, so it can kind of be an advantage, disadvantage, but right now I think we're really focused on our mental aspect.
Yeah, and speaking of your mental aspect, last week you had an amazing win. You lost the first game and were able to come back and win the next 3. Is there anything you have to say about that?
Yeah, it definitely shows their perseverance. The girls started coming back. It's really hard after losing against a team to fight for that 4th set, so I'm hoping to see some more of that determination today.
Do you have any players that you would like to shout out from the last couple of weeks?
From the last couple weeks, Jada Early's serving has been super consistent, especially in points during a game where it's very nerve-wracking. So I think she's done a great job with that. And then overall, our communication is starting to go in the right direction. So I think everybody as a whole is starting to flow. And I think we can credit that to some of our team dinners and team bonding too.
So have you guys been working on serving, or has she just been working on her own to improve?
We have serving in every practice, so our typical practice starts with warming up serving and then 20 perfect passes on serve receive, so they get a lot of reps in. And with serve receive having been our main focus, they've had a lot of serving reps in the past couple weeks.
So you mentioned serve receive. What is that for anybody who doesn't play volleyball or doesn't know much about the sport?
So serve receive is when the other team is serving the ball over at us, so typically the 3 back row are the ones passing that ball up. So.
Are there any secrets or things that you guys have been doing that maybe somebody who's not into volleyball would notice? They wouldn't notice it or wouldn't see, but maybe somebody who's very into volleyball would see little things you guys have been doing to help you guys win.
We've really been working on spot serving recently with a few of the players, and then we started some new plays, so hopefully having the balls during the game that will allow us to run those. People will pick up on some slides in that. I know to the untrained eye, sometimes it just looks like 6 rotating, but using our plays and speeding up, sending over 2 balls has been really helpful for us, so hopefully we continue that today.
All right, well, good luck tonight.
Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed the show. We want to thank Brad, Taylor, and certainly Tony for coming aboard and talking a little bit about Blackhawk sports this fall. And we'll be back with a couple of panel discussions next week and a variety of other features. So stay tuned, and we'll be back with you next week. So thanks for watching.